Hola, hola. I mean, hello, 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 diva. I'm used to doing my shows here in Espanol, pero I'm speaking English today. Hello. We are talking about some universal laws. We're going to get into this thing and talk about what is the purpose of knowing and why is it so important to know the universal laws, the what is the big impact of these universal laws. We're going to go through them. I'm going to give you some insight on how I use them in my life and how I manifest things. We're going to be dealing with how there are no victims. We're going to be dealing with how nothing is happenstance, and we're going to be dealing with application of these laws and manifestations. Because one of the things about these universal laws that people don't understand, this is how our ancestors, especially when we're talking about the women ancestors, they were able to see what we call akashic records. If you're not familiar with that term, look it up. Akoshic. In most cases, how it's spelled. Hola, hello, Ronnie. Yeah, go and check that out and just look up some of the things on what the Akashic records are. Look up Sibyls, look up oracles. And those were the women who could, they could read your Akashic records by things you said, by looking at you. They knew certain things, and a lot of it has to do with these universal laws, because the universe is constantly speaking to us. The universe is constantly speaking to us. We do not understand her language. So what we want to do is go through these universal laws. We want to start understanding what the universe is saying. And also, once again, I get into these universal laws because when you understand these, all of these lower laws, because all of these laws beneath this, in this so-called man's law, is way beneath what's up here with universal law. So we're going to get into it. Again, I'm going to give you some ideas on how I use them to manifest, and just go through maybe some examples of each one of them so that you can have a better understanding of their importance. These universal laws, I put a link up so that you can pull those universal laws down now. I'll also later on post it in within the post at the bottom. So make sure you all pull that down and let's go through it. Follow along. I don't have my graphics up because I have a little bouncing ball. Universal law of oneness. All right. But anyway, y'all pull that down. There's a link there. Pull it down, and I'm going to go over these right now. Without further ado, these are the universal laws, and again, they are so very important in this society. If you don't know them, this is your opportunity to get a leg up, because you're going to need these. These are going to help you as you try to, or as you go and walk to gain your freedom. All right, so let's get into this. Universal law number one. We are talking about the law of oneness. Law of oneness. Now, let's understand this. The universal law states that we are all connected. We are all connected. When you uplift the next person, you uplift yourself. So one of the things I deal with this deeply when I deal with my go and look up my session where it's a series. Actually, it's two different parts to it, and it's called reincarnation. Go and look that up. It's in my post. But anyway, yeah, we're talking about reincarnation, and that I go into great detail so that we can understand how we are all one. We have these elements within us, and what we have to understand is when you put out an energy, all right, you are putting it out really to yourself. It seems like it's going to someone else, but every person is a representation of you. A part of you is within them, and they are within you. And so when we understand this is where we're talking about, treat others like you want to be treated or what have you. Law of oneness. We are all one. And let me say this again. When we're talking about the main principle of the universal laws, we're talking about energies. And when you put out an energy, the main principle is it must come back. When you put out an energy, it must come back. That's the principle, the main principle of universal laws. So we've gone over the law of oneness, which is number one. Number two, law of energy and vibration. I'm going to tell you something. These laws, and I'm trying, listen, I go over them a lot. And it's unfortunate that everybody wants to skip forward to well, I want to push some paperwork. I just want to get my bills paid. I just want to, and you want to skip past the most important laws. Our ignorance of these laws is what keeps us enslaved. Your ignorance of these laws is what keeps you enslaved. I don't care about how much you think you're going to claim to be a part of somebody's nation and you're taking on somebody else's nationality. If you don't know these laws, you will remain a slave. You will remain a slave until you know these laws. Don't try to skip this. Don't try to skip this. I don't care how simplistic this may seem. This is the most important thing. And it's unfortunate because I'm giving this for free. That little stuff where you pushing these papers, I can charge all kind of money. This I'm giving for free. This is the most important part. I hope y'all are intelligent enough to catch this. I know maybe one or two people. I'd like to thank you, one or two people. I hope we're going to build sometime in the future, but this is the most important part. All that other stuff, that's lower level. I hope y'all get this. All right. I'm on number 2. Again, you can download from the link, the universal laws, and follow along. But number 2, law of energy and vibration. Even though, or every thought rather created, every sentence spoken, every action taken creates an energy and a vibration in the universe. All right. Listen, again, this is about whatever energy you put out must come back. So if you're putting out positive energies, that by law is what the universe must send back to you. The law of energy and vibration. So let's understand this. When you have a thought in your mind, that is an energy. All right. Just that right there, that thought is an energy that you're putting out into the universe. So this is why we want to be careful about what we're thinking. If you're constantly calling yourself negative things, if you're constantly saying negative things about, oh, I'm stupid, that's not funny. A lot of people say that, oh, I'm crazy, oh, I'm this, you don't want to be saying any of that kind of, you definitely don't want to think it, and you surely don't want to put it out your face, out of your mouth, only positivity. So if you're saying these negative things about yourself, you can understand you're putting out this negative energy into the universe. And I have these little sessions that I would do with people where I would show them how their thoughts manifest in this dimension. And you could see it clearly. So your thoughts are very, very powerful. And if you're putting out any kind of negative thought to yourself, you're creating negativity in your dimension and you don't even realize it. This is why it's important for us to get an understanding of how powerful our thoughts are, how powerful our speech is, and how powerful our actions are. I'm going to say this too. A lot of us think that that law of energy and vibration. We think that we're going to go out and do something negative, and because nobody saw it, oh, it's okay. Nobody saw it. Somebody always sees it. If you see it, that's all who needs to see it. So we got to start understanding our thoughts, our energies, everything we speak, everything we do. It is a consequence. It plays a consequence on the things that happen in this third dimension. All right. We've got to be careful about that and understand how that works. All right. Law of action. We manifest positive results by engaging in actions, speaking words, experiencing emotions, and provoking thoughts that support positive energy. Now, this is in conjunction with number 2, the law of energy and vibration. But this one is talking about actual actions that we participate in. Now, when you're going and you're doing something kind, when you're working with, the homeless, or you're working with the elderly or the children, and this is things that you love to do, You are generating with your what I call masculine energy, because that's everything you're doing in the three-dimensional is masculine energy, and you affect your feminine energy. Your feminine energy is the way you feel. That is where everything comes from, that feminine energy. And you want to use this law of action to affect the feminine energy. Law of action meaning your masculine is affecting how you feel, which is your feminine energy on the inside. And then once you start to create your inside, and you get that cleared up and it's happy, and you have an energy within you, that's when your manifesting starts. Not out here. Out here is where you're manipulating what's going on internally. All right. So when you go out and you do these actions, these kind things where you're helping people, you're working with people, and you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart, that is a very positive energy. And it goes within, and that is when your manifesting starts. If you're at a job, see, conversely, if you're at a job that you hate and you hate going there, you are feeding yourself a negative energy. So what we want to do is we want to focus on whatever actions that we're putting out for whatever reason. Let it be actions that you enjoy. And some people thinking, I can't, some things you're going to do, you don't enjoy. Well, not me. I enjoy what I do. And when I don't enjoy it anymore, I stop doing it. Period. Period. My life I'm here to enjoy my life. And I hope everyone gets to the point where they can do that same thing. Enjoy your life. That's what you're here for. If you're not enjoying yourself, then you need to put yourself in a place where you can start to enjoy your life. All right. Law of number 4, law of correspondence. All right. Law of correspondence. We are the sole creators of energies within our life. This is very important. Pay attention. This is very important. Pay attention. We are the sole creators of energies within our life. There are no victims. There are no victims. All right. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Be positive and reflect positivity. I'm going to say this part again. There are no victims. And this includes melanated people who supposedly are getting all this stuff coming from the Albion. This includes, all these people who might get things stolen from them. I'm going to just stop it right there because I know some of y'all are not ready for this part. This is the most important part. It saddens me that, I'll put this information out. And this is the most important part. This is why when I get clients, we're going to go through this. We're going to go through this list because these are the most important things to understand. And most people don't want to look at themselves. They want to act like they're victims. They want to blame everyone else. And then they want to wonder why these certain processes that they're trying to put down don't work for them. They don't work because your inner spirit is not functioning properly. You are putting out energies in your dimension, and you are causing all of your issues, all of them. But you want to be a God. You want to be El. You want to be a Bay. You want to be whatever and call yourself a God. But then you act like a victim. Oh, what an Albion. Them, them whatever. They're not your problem. The problem is you. You don't understand these laws. So when I'm talking about, there are no victims. None. And I'll be glad. Go ahead and put it in the list. Well, what about this? And what about that? And I'll address it. Put it in the list. I dare you. I dare you. I'll be glad to address it. Because there are no victims until you understand that, until we come up out of our cognitive dissonance and we understand the energies that the universe is the language that she is speaking. You won't ever get this. You'll be forever trying to figure this out. Know these laws. So at any rate, number 4, law of correspondence. There are no victims. Again, you can pull these lists down from the link that I put in the title, and I'll also post it down below once I'm done. The law of cause and effect. Nothing is happenstance. Nothing is happenstance. All this Bad things happen to good people. No, it don't. Uh, Law of cause and effect. Nothing is happenstance. Everything is energy that we put into the universe must be returned to us. We reap what we sow. Sow positivity. Go ahead. Put it in the box below the comment section. But what about it? I'll be glad to break it down for you. Nothing is happenstance. Law of cause and effect. When there's an energy that is put out, it must be returned to the spirit that put it out. So y'all be watching these tornadoes. Y'all wondering, y'all never paid attention. See, a tornado is an energy. Everything is just energy. It's an energy. It's a spiritual energy. So you ever notice how, it'll come through, hit this town real hard. It might jump over this house and then hit everybody else in the row. And then the next neighborhood, nothing happens to them. Y'all ever wonder about what that was? Okay, that's energy. It's not happenstance that this energy is coming through here and taking these people out. Not happenstance. Ever paid attention to what particular people that's going on with? Y'all ain't paying attention? Okay. All right. Keep watching. Keep paying attention. Keep learning these laws. And then you're going to see how the universe speaks. And then you're going to be able to see the past. You're going to be able to see people's future because you know these laws. The law of number 6, the law of compensation. This is one of my favorite ones that I use when I'm manifesting. Again, the universal laws say that whenever there's an energy put out, it must come back. Law of compensations. All energies, positive and negative, that we put into the universe are returned to us many times over. Multiply the return on your positive investment of energy. So let's understand this. I'm going to give you an example of how I use this to manifest. I had a client once that she kept saying, whatever you put out, no, if you want it, you must give it away. That was what she would say all the time. If you want it, you must give it away. And it dealt with this law of compensation. So one of the things when it comes to how the universe returns energy, when you put one out, she's going to give you many back. That's how nature is. You plant a seed in nature, like you plant a watermelon seed, you're going to get many seeds back. It's not going to just give you one seed. It's going to give you many seeds back. And so you've got to understand when we're talking about, for example, everything is currency. That seed would be currency. Money is currency. What we think is money is currency. Anything can be currency. So let's say it's money, since that's the thing that most people are used to. So let's say we take $1. I know that when I plant this $1 into the universe, meaning I do something with it that's positive, makes me feel good, that helps other people, I know that if I put $1 in, I'm going to get many back. I know this because I do it all the time. So let's say one of the things I've noticed that I know at least 5 times over. I know if I put $1 in, I'm going to get at least 5 back. So what I do, let's say if I want to get, $500, I'll do something where I help somebody. It doesn't it could be one person or it could be many, where I might go and I might do, feed some people, and it costs me $100, to feed these people, whatever. I might just give somebody $100 for what their car note or whatever. I know that when I do that, the universe is going to return that to me at least 5 times over. So if I put 100 in, I know I'm getting 500 back. Now, let me help you understand. Those who are running this game, they do it all the time. This is why when you see like these larger corporations, they're going to set aside a large amount of money at the end of their fiscal year. And they're setting it aside because, once again, they know these laws that we are ignorant to. So they'll set this money aside at the end of their fiscal year, and then they'll give it away in an altruistic way to, nonprofit organizations, and you can give it to whatever organization you want. It doesn't have to be, any particular organization. You can choose. So they're going to give it away to whomever they choose to give this money away to. So if let's say it's 5 million, because see, they know these laws, and it doesn't matter. You can be the biggest jerk in the world. When you put this money out and you do these altruistic things, then the universe by law must return it to you. So when, at the end of the year, they're giving this money away, at the beginning of the next year rather, and so they set aside 5 million. They give away 5 million. Well, what's 5 million times 5? I'm just using 5 as a base, because really when I put out $1, I get way more than 5. But I'm just saying, if you put a good energy behind it, at least 5 is what you're going to return. So if they set aside 5 million and they give away 5 million the next year. Well, what's 5 million times 5? That's 25 million. That's a good investment. And they've just invested it in the universe. They've just invested it in the universe. That's all they had to do, and put a good energy behind it. Feel good about, putting this money out to these different organizations. That's the law. That's how it works. So that is the law of compensation, and that is how I use it to manifest. And I do it all the time. I tell people, I sing because it's my love and my passion. And it does well for me, but I really work for the universe. That's what I do. I work for the universe, and these laws are what keep me living well and doing what I love to do. They take care of me. All right, so that's the law of compensation. Law of attraction. Our thoughts, emotions, words, and actions attract the things, events, people that enter our lives. Your physical world is a reflection of your thoughts. Reflect positivity. So once again, whatever energies you put out must come back. So when you're seeing people, and I've said this before, when you're seeing people get all of this quote unquote favor coming to them, when you're seeing people living well, even when we're seeing people manipulate these processes on a lower level, they don't have to tell you anything. They don't have to tell me anything. I already know what kind of person they are. And the people who come to me, that meet me, these are people who are on a higher vibratory level, right? So I know when people are coming to me, you're only going to come to me if you're at a certain level with respect to your spiritual energies. And those are the people who I attract. In the same way, when you see other people, when they're in situations where they're getting beat up by their boyfriend, or they constantly staying in trouble, or this is constantly happening to them, and they want to make it seem like they're a victim, you can see what is in their mind. Whatever is happening on a person's outside is reflective of what is going on inside of their mind. So you see somebody with a yard, and it looks like a tornado came through there. It's junky, it's nasty, it's whatever. That's what's going on in their head. And so, this is the law of attraction. We're attracting everything that's in our dimension. So when you change your mind, all of the things that are coming to you, they must change. They don't have a choice but to change, because you're going to be on a different vibratory frequency. If you got people, you're talking about people around you and they just all negative, well, that's because you're negative. You got to change you. If all you're speaking is negativity, all the people in your inbox are negative, everything you're watching is negative, then those are the people who are going to be attracted to you. Those are the people who are going to come to you. Change you, and everything around you has no choice but to change. Change your mind and change your life. All right. That's number 7, law of attraction. Once again, I have a link, and you can pull down the link for this list in that link. All right. So now, number 8, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Aha. the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Number 8, as spiritual beings, we have the power to vibrate on a higher level and enhance our lives by generating positive thoughts and partaking in positive energies. All right. This is very similar to the law of attraction. Let's understand this. When you vibrate on a high level, okay, let's say you're vibrating on this high level. People who are vibrating down here, your paths are never going to cross, because this is y'all right here. You up here, they down here. The universe is not even going to allow y'all to even see each other, because you're on a different vibratory frequency. All right. And so what we're not understanding is that if we have these people who are, we coming in contact with you vibrating on the same level. If they're not vibrating high, then you need to check yourself. All right, I need to go up here because I don't want to be crossing paths. You understand? You have to change you. And once you change you, they can't even come into your dimension. No, we're gonna just go past that. You understand? So again, when we're talking about people who are just negative, we're talking about people who just bring negative energy with them and negative things. You need to change you, and they automatically must go away. So I'm gonna give you some examples. Like, let's say a lion and an elk, or a deer. Let me just say a deer that the lion is chasing. Well, they're on the same vibratory frequency. How are they on the same vibratory frequency? Remember, go and look up my video on reincarnation. It talks about how as spiritual beings, we reincarnate into all kinds of things. You reincarnate into all kinds of things. That's where that law of oneness comes from. That number one, law of oneness, because when we reincarnate, these vessels reincarnate. Because remember, you're a spirit, but there are many spirits that that make up this vessel. And so we reincarnate into so many different things, and we're not understanding that law of oneness. So when we're talking about an elk and a lion, it's likely that elk and whatever it reincarnated from was it chased this spiritual being. And so now they're just meeting up again. All of us meeting up again. That same thing with the melanated people and the Albion. Hell, the Albion was the original slave. Melanated people are the one that kidnapped them from their own land and brought them over here as children, as slaves. We didn't know that, did we? So now when we look at today, and we're seeing that these Albions are so angry. Where does this angry energy come? It don't just pop out of nowhere. You don't want to say, people telling y'all, they Albions, and so because their skin is white, they crazy. And no, they are spirits. So you got to ask yourself, why are they so angry? Where's all this energy coming from? Well, when we go back and we look at true history, we find out these are the same people, these are the same spirits that was kidnapped and enslaved in this land. So ask yourself, why is the Americas, North America in particular, have the highest rate of incarceration than any other place on the planet? There's got to be something spiritually going on here to cause that kind of thing. Well, when we do research, we find out, it was the Albion that was being kidnapped. And who was kidnapping them? These people, they call themselves Moors, melanated folks. So when we're looking in the jails, the prison industrial complex, which is nothing but slavery, well, who's in there? Well, all these melanated folks, and they kidnapping all out. Well, who are these spirits that are in there? Where they come from? Nothing is happenstance, and there are no victims. So when we are starting to understand what real history is, then we can look at these laws and be like, are there victims? Are they a victim of something? Or what's really going on in this dimension on a spiritual level? And until we get that and we stop thinking we're victims, and then we stop being manipulated, Until we get that, we're not going to be able to come out of this slavery or enslavement that we're in because you're ignorant of the laws. Number uh number 9. Number 9, universal law of relativity. All right. The size of a problem is only relative to your ability to place the situation into the proper perspective within your mind. Mountains become molehills with positive thinking. So let me give you an example of this. Sometimes we undertake tasks that when we have a negative mental attitude about it, it just seems like it is the most insurmountable task. Like we cannot get over this thing that we have to do. So for example, let's say you are riding your bike. You're riding your bike and you come to a hill. And in your mind, you are like, oh God, no, I ain't gonna be able to go up this hill. And you are just complaining. And there's always a voice in there. We can't do this. That's too that's too steep. That's too much. We need to go some other place. This type of thinking is what makes the deal more difficult. You got to go up the hill. You got to go up the hill. You can't go around it. You got to go up it. But you got this voice here. Oh, nah, this too much. And you're complaining all the way up the damn hill. And it just seems like it's the most difficult thing you've ever done. But when you have a different attitude about it, it's like, oh, what? Let's do it. And you have thoughts about, yeah, we're taking this one thing at a time, whatever. It could be a song you're singing. It doesn't matter. You have to change your mental about this hill. It don't even exist. We just need to get over here so we can, because when I get up here, my biscuits is waiting for me, my gravy, my soup, my whatever it is that's going to be so delicious for me. This is going to be good. You're not worried about this voice. You got to shut this down. And this is what we're talking about when we're talking about universal law of relativity. It's relative to what you make it. Don't make it such a big task. Just do it. We got to do it. We got to get up the hill because we can't go around it. This is what we're talking about with, just changing the way you think about things and not making it difficult with your thoughts. Number 10, universal law of polarity. I love this law. This has become one of my favorites after law of compensation. All things possess the ability to be positive or negative depending on the mind using said thing. A knife can be a tool to help or a weapon to harm. I spoke yesterday about how everything has duality, a positive and a negative side. We spend so much time focused on the negative side that we never learn how to use this thing or this tool that somebody is using to bury us to enhance us. I'm going to give you an example. You might remember Vanessa Williams. Vanessa Williams, she was, I think, Miss America at one time, or I forget what Miss Universe. I forget Miss America, Miss Universe. I don't know which one, but she won that title. And there was this big scandal about some sex scandal. Something happened in a magazine that somebody released, and they cut her from that position. Now, here's a woman that they had embarrassed all over national television and did and said all kind of negative things about this woman. And she could have taken that and gone in her bedroom and just cried and balled up, and we never would have heard anything else from a Vanessa Williams. But she found a way to take this negative press. You know how they say all negative news is good, or negative press is good press, and negative media is good media. And she took it and she used it. She became an actress, a singer, a songwriter, and all kind of other things that she has done in her career because she used this negative press that they put out against her. She stepped on it and she let it elevate her. to the point where they were asking her to come back years later and accept some kind of honorary crown. And I think she turned it down. But you got to understand, this is the law of polarity. What seemed like it was a very negative situation for her, she was able to turn that around. Number 11, universal law of rhythm. All things have a vibration, rhythm, which is in harmony with universal rhythm. Rhythms can be mastered by those who vibrate on higher frequencies and put out positive energies. Now, I'm going to give you an example that a lot of people are aware of when we're talking about rhythm. When we're talking about women in a house, for example, the period is a rhythm, which comes every 28 days. That is its rhythm. And what happens with women in a house is that they're going to sync up, and they're going to, their periods end up coming at the same time. That's that natural rhythm that the head person or head female in the house is going to have, and everybody's going to sync up with her. Now, this doesn't just happen. That's with humans. When we're talking about clocks, there's this example that was done where there's this room, like there's a clockmaker, and he's got all these clocks in this room. And, you know, they set the clocks up to where they're not swinging on the same rhythm. And then eventually they all just sync up to the same rhythm, all of the clocks. These are clocks. They sync up to the same rhythm. And again, the universe has a rhythm, and certain things are going to sync up with it because of the rhythm of the universe. So and really everything has a rhythm. Even trees have a rhythm, and they have a language. It's much slower, so you have to, and we've caught this. I've seen instances where this has been caught. So trees have a rhythm. Of course, plants, they show that all the time. Plants have rhythm. So yeah, we have to learn, rhythm, and there's more to it than that. But those are the things that I've seen in my own, my little experiment with these laws. All right, last one, universal law of gender. We and all things possess feminine and masculine energies that can be mastered by understanding the importance of each to bring about a balance of peace within. All right, so when we're talking about this, the masculine and the feminine, like males, one of the things they tend to forget is that they are females in a reformed, we're going to call it reformed vessel. So males have feminine in them. As a matter of fact, everything in them is feminine except for that Y chromosome. And they have, this feminine energy within them that they don't think they need to tap. And the thing is, again, males possess feminine and women possess masculine because she is the original masculine. As a matter of fact, her masculine, if she knew how to get in touch with it without masculine, his masculine, because she's got so much more of it. Go back and look at my video on the molecular structure of the male and the female. So we've got to understand that when we're talking about the law of gender, especially my brothers, when I say to you to tap into your feminine energy, that is not, telling you to go put a pocketbook and a dress on and put some lipstick on. I'm telling you that there's an inner energy that you have to learn to tap into, and I'm gonna call it feminine because that's what it is. If it offends you, you need to get a hold to yourself and understand what these laws are and what they really mean. So again, we all have a masculine and a feminine energy. Everything on this planet has a masculine and a feminine. And, once we are understanding, again, these laws, go over them, the more because see, I learned to, the more I go over these, the more I learn to use them and put them into effect for myself, especially this law of polarity. That's one of my big ones right now. But yeah, I'm using that in conjunction with law of compensation to manifest things that I want. manifest it. It's like, oh, you know what? I want that. I'm gonna put out some masculine energy so I can affect my feminine energies, and then I'm gonna get what I want. That's how I live. And so once we again learn these higher laws, then we could start learning how to affect the lower laws, because get this up here in order, everything else is easy. All right, so I'm going to go over the hierarchy of laws now so we can understand what these lower laws are. Y'all stay tuned. Let me see if I have any questions. I keep forgetting to see if I have questions. Oops, let me see. Hey, Diva, are you right? You are right. Oh, thank you, Christine. CC. Um, Dennis, hey, I remember the stories of you getting free hotel rooms by using this method, this principle. Yes, I will get free hotel rooms. I get houses now. I do houses, like I do, and everything is taken care of. So yeah, I don't. I told you I don't have bills. I don't light bill, gas bill. I don't pay. I don't deal with none of that. Um, I live my life happy and like very, very stress free. Um, and getting ready to get into some other things too, with these universal laws. Raquel, Oba, hello. Who else? Okay, Vaughn. All right, so I'm going to get into these hierarchies of laws. Listen to me, my friends. Thank you all, Dennis and Anthony and Dwayne, for joining me. These laws are very important, and again, I give them for free. I would do all of this for free anyway, but people don't respect things that are free. I need y'all to understand these laws are so important, so important. um, Learn them, because this when you learn these and understand how to use them and manipulate them, this is going to give you way more freedom than any paper you think you're going to push. Okay, so I wish y'all a lot of success on these. If y'all have questions or anything and y'all want to talk to me about it or run some stuff across me, I would love to hear it. We're going to start manifesting and really using our powers to live like the gods that we are. All right, thank y'all. Stay tuned. I love you. Peace. See you on the next session. Diva. Ciao. Bye bye. Bye bye.